Hello monkeys, it is I, the Dark Pillowsack, and boy have I got a crazy story for you today. About last week, I noticed that the moon is usually in its general position south from here. That's south, and I'm sitting north of the camera. So the other day I look out the front of the house and the moon is over there. It's not over here where it usually is, it's over there. So I have the network that we talk about on the internet, the crazy conspiracy people, and they go, the moon is not in its usual place. I'm like, holy fadoodles. They're not kidding. So I watched a video and they're like, the moon is 33 degrees off its declination. So I figured last night I'll go out and make a video. I may go out and make a video tonight. I go out, make the video, and the moon is this way. So it's moving south. Well, it was south. Now it's moving directly overhead. Now, for those of you who watch the stars, which is 99% of the population, if somebody's parked in front of your house, you know that somebody's parked in front of your house. But do you know where the general constellations are? Orion, the Big Dipper, Ursa Major, Ursa Minor, all that. I have a pretty large IQ. I don't miss much. Well, the planets that accompany the moon, the major one is Venus. Sometimes it's Mars because the planetary alignment is consistent. Venus is usually about this far away from the moon. So I look over here, the moon is not where it usually is, but Venus is usually over here, now it's over there. So it's in general planetary alignment within a 34-degree declination. Venus should be way, way, way far apart. People were saying the moon is not in its general place. Now here's what happened. This is what they're saying today. This is the conclusion I came to last night after reading about it. Well, they said it was 25 degrees, now they're saying it's 35 degrees. The Earth has possibly shifted on its axis 35 degrees. Can you believe that? So people are calling NASA and they're hanging up. Hey NASA, is the moon shifted 35 degrees on declination? Click. No answer. Now, if it was a crazy conspiracy thing, they'd say, yes, it has, and we don't know why. But they're saying, no comment now. Those, you know, the government's been ordering guns, food, all this stuff the last month. They know something's up. People were saying this happened the last 2 weeks. It actually started in July. So it's been moving. The moon usually moves its declination, inclination within 5 degrees for the last 100 years. So where I am in the United States, you only see the moon at night, but possibly in Africa or Australia, you'll see it during the daytime. It's because of the declination of the Earth in the orbit on its axis. We never have the moon here in the daylight in the United States, hardly ever during the daytime. So I would expect in some places in the world you will see the moon more or less in its general place. Now here's what's going to happen. I looked up the general coordinates of Washington, D.C. It's around a 33-degree declination because it was founded by Masons, George Washington and le Enfant, Pierre le Enfant, the infant. Okay, so we're going to look up the general declination of Washington, D.C. It's 47 degrees. I'd say it's closer to 33 or 45. It's at between a right angle and a general perpendicular angle, somewhere in between. What this would possibly mean, because the moon is directly overhead and it's usually within 5 degrees of the equatorial plane, is Washington, D.C. is now, because I want to know if my home's going to be underwater or frozen or hotter or what. I don't want it to be a whole lot colder because in the wintertime we already get a lot of snow in D.C. I would like it to be like the Bahamas if I had a choice. What this possibly means, and I'm a conspiracy nut, so we'll have to wait a couple of months, and eventually, as usual, the government will come out a year from now and fess up. Ajax loans will come out a year from now and fess up, and they'll say, the Earth has shifted on its pole. And by then, everybody will know. but 95% of the population is asleep right now. Okay? So, what this generally means is Washington, D.C. is going to be in a subtropical climate. It's going to be much hotter. And now that I think about it, we'll have animals migrating. We might actually have freaking fucking crocodiles in Washington, D.C. swimming in the lake, in streams, in the ponds. Down in Louisiana, the crocodiles might all die. Now, this may be what caused, if the Earth shifts its axis, this may be what caused the extinction level event 250 million years ago. And it may be that these secret societies know about this. I don't really know. I'm just giving you the facts. The moon is not in its general orbit. It's still the relatively safe orbit within the distance of the planet, but its declination, its inclination, its attitude has changed. Not its altitude, its attitude. So, and Venus is still in regular position. So, my guess would be that somehow the whole galaxy somehow, and the planet somehow shifted their orbit. We'll have to wait and see. Other regions are going to become colder. There was a story that recently the United States gave Russia Alaska. If Russia's going to get much colder, it'll be too cold to live there. Certain places in the United States or the world, well, the United States will be fine, but certain places in the world will be uninhabitable. Africa may become a tropical climate. Things may grow there. We'll have to see. This is very, very bizarre. If it's true, it's going to affect life in this planet as we know it. For Americans, not much is going to change unless the orbit of the moon keeps shifting. How much can it shift? I don't know. The Earth is relatively stable in its axis, but if it started gyrating, like if this was, for extended period of time, we could have some very bizarre climate on the planet Earth.